Hamas just released a propaganda video of 2 Israeli hostages who have been held captive in the Gaza Strip for over 500 days. Their families cleared the video to show the world just how horrific their conditions really are. Meanwhile, the Houthis in Yemen are continuing to fire missiles at Israel, and the co-director of the anti-Israel film that won an Oscar this year was just arrested for attacking Jews. Let's get into it. I'm Justin Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. In a disgusting display of propaganda, Hamas just released a video of Israeli hostages Elkanah Bobat and Yosef Chaim Ohana, who were both kidnapped from the Nova Music Festival on October 7th and have been in brutal captivity in Gaza for 535 days. The families of both hostages cleared the video for publication to the Israeli media, wanting to show just how bad the conditions of the hostages are. In the video, they both looked very thin and gaunt, sadly not in good condition at all. I watched through the whole video. It's very difficult to watch. We're not going to play the whole video on the show, but I'll link it in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. It's very sad. The hostages start out by saying their prisoner numbers. They said they don't have a name, an ID, or even hope anymore. They just have a number. They then went on to say that Hamas didn't ask them to make the video and that Hamas is not using it as propaganda or as psychological warfare, which, of course, is not true, as you can tell if you watch the video. Hamas is obviously giving them their lines because they said that after the ceasefire went into place on January 19th, they were well fed and even taken care of by Hamas until Israel started their offensive in Gaza again on March 18th. They then begged the Israeli government to allow former hostages to talk about the horrible conditions in Hamas captivity. Some hostages have come out about what they went through, but not too many of them have, because I think they're concerned for what they shared could harm the hostages who are still in the Gaza Strip. Elkanah Bobat's family said he suffers from asthma. They put out a statement saying, quote, "You can see in the video that he is in bad shape, that he has lost a lot of weight from continued starvation, that he is suffering from problems with his skin and his breathing, and hasn't seen the light of day for almost a year and a half." This video was terrible, very difficult to watch, and I think what I got from it is just how disgusting and monstrous Hamas truly is. Just to put this in perspective, first of all, they attacked Israel on October 7th, murdering 1,200 Israelis and kidnapping 250. When Israel retaliated, they somehow gained the sympathy of the world and cried that Israel was killing innocent civilians. Israel sent hundreds of aid trucks into Gaza to feed the innocent civilians, and Hamas confiscated most of it and starved not only their own people, but the Israeli hostages as well. After the initial ceasefire deal this year that saw 30 hostages released, Israel tried for weeks to make a deal once again with Hamas to release all the hostages, but Hamas refused to cooperate, and Israel was forced to go back to their only option: destroy the rest of Hamas. Now, they released a propaganda video of the hostages, claiming that it was Israel's fault that they are starving and that they're not being released. The terrorists of Hamas are nothing more than sick monsters that deserve zero sympathy from the rest of the world. We'll be right back with the rest of the show in just 1 second, but first, the war in Israel has left many families in severe poverty. Brave IDF soldiers, fathers, husbands, and sons have returned home with life-altering injuries and deep trauma. Survivors of October 7th are struggling with unbearable loss, and many are unable to work. As we approach Passover, a holiday that celebrates freedom from bondage, too many in Israel remain trapped in the chains of poverty. Passover is a holiday that reminds us of resilience, faith, and the responsibility to help those in need. This Passover, however, many are unable to put food on the table. Ma'ir Panim is a trusted organization that has helped hundreds of thousands of Israelis since the start of the war, including widows, orphans, single mothers, soldiers, and Holocaust survivors. This Passover, Ma'ir Panim is providing thousands of gift cards so that families can purchase food for the holidays, over 25,000 ready-made meals for those who cannot cook or access food on their own, over 100,000 pantry bags with staple foods to ensure no family goes hungry. This Passover, imagine the lives you're touching by providing a safe refuge, warm meals, and critical supplies. Your generosity reminds the people of Israel that they are not forgotten. Visit Israel-donate.org today or click the link in the description below to stand with Israel and help bring freedom from the bondage of poverty this Passover. Apparently, the Houthis in Yemen haven't learned their lesson yet, because almost every day now they've been firing a ballistic missile towards Israel. Just last night, they fired one towards central Israel, sending millions of people to bomb shelters. Thank God it was intercepted by the IDF before it even entered Israeli airspace. The IDF said, quote, "For the second time today, millions of Israelis are running to shelter as sirens sound across Israel following a projectile launched from Yemen." And then they said, "Following alerts that were activated a short time ago in several areas of the country, one missile launched from Yemen was intercepted." Even though it was intercepted outside of Israeli airspace, shrapnel did still land in the city of Beit Shemesh. This was the 6th ballistic missile fired by the Houthis in the past week. And my question is, do they not realize who they're messing with? If I had the US bombing the living daylights out of my country, I think I would be a little bit scared and maybe trying to negotiate and surrender. But no, the Houthis hate the Jewish people so much that they'll do anything to see their destruction, even if it means suffering for their own people. This missile attack came minutes after the Iron Dome intercepted 3 rockets fired from Gaza by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. According to the Home Front Command, air raid sirens were activated in the Gaza border communities. Thank God no one was injured from these attacks. Sadly, though, an 86-year-old man was killed and a 20-year-old IDF soldier was seriously wounded in a terrorist attack near Yokneam in the Galilee yesterday. The terrorist rammed into the IDF soldier at a bus stop, jumped out and tried to stab him, and then opened fire on passing vehicles, unfortunately killing an elderly man. His name was Moshe Horan. Pray for his family and pray for the recovery of this IDF soldier. I just think this story is kind of ironic. You might have heard about the controversy at the Oscars this year. The film that won Best Documentary was a film called No Other Land and was basically just a straight up propaganda film about the so-called Israeli occupation and oppression. Well, the co-director of this film was just arrested yesterday for throwing rocks at Jews in Judea. Palestinians were throwing rocks at Israeli cars, and when security forces came to arrest them, they threw rocks at the IDF as well. I guess just because you have an Oscar doesn't mean you're above the law. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to check out Ma'ir Panim and the amazing work that they're doing. Support the nation of Israel. You can just go to Israel-donate.org or click the link in the description below. Subscribe to this channel, even share this video with a friend. Get the conversation going down in the comment section below. Love to interact with you guys there. If you'd like to support our work here at the Israel Guys, you can head over to theisraelguys.com/donate. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect with the truth of what is happening in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys. Catch you in the next one.